Hey guys, how's it going? Joe here, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to host a Pavlov VR server from your home PC. And before we proceed, just know that for the Pavlov VR servers, it is a Linux exclusive. There are no Windows binaries for this, but if you already have a machine that runs Linux, then that's great. If not, like if you only have a Windows-based PC like I do, well, no worries, because we can also use a virtual machine to host the server. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a virtual machine that runs on Ubuntu, and I'm going to also show you that how do we actually set up a Pavlov server on a Windows PC with the virtual machine. Alright, so before we start, we will need to download a virtual machine first if you are on Windows. So for me, I use Oracle VirtualBox. So you can just search that and you can download it and just click on the Windows host and it will start downloading. So I already have it installed, so I'm just gonna cancel the download. And after that, you will also need a distro for Linux. What I'm gonna use is Ubuntu 24.04. That is one of the supported distros here. That's what I'm gonna use. So you can just put it again, you can put it on Google and go to the Ubuntu website. Sorry, it should be this one. Download Ubuntu Desktop, and you can click on this Ubuntu 24.04.3 LTS. You can just click on the download button, and it should start downloading. You shouldn't have to click anything here. Yep, it should start downloading. I already have this downloaded, so I'm just gonna cancel the download. And after you install VirtualBox, and you're just gonna run it. And to set this up, you're gonna click on New. And the name, you can just put whatever you want. I'm just gonna put Pavlov servers, since I'm not gonna use this virtual machine for anything else. And the folder, VM folder, you can choose where you want the virtual machine's files to get saved to. And for the ISO image, you will need to click on others and navigate to your downloaded ISO of the Ubuntu file, and then click on open. And everything should be auto-filled, like the OS and distribution. You can use proceed with unattended installation so that the VirtualBox will complete the installation for you. And you can click on setup unattended guest OS installation. And you can leave this as default, but for me, I like to change this, like username, I would like to change it to Steam. And the password, since it forces you to put a password, I'm just going to put something simple like 123. And I will also recommend that you check the install guest add-ons option so that you can actually synchronize your clipboard between your Windows machine and the virtual machine, so that you can copy and paste text more easily across the platforms. And as for the virtual hardware, for the RAM, it depends on how much RAM you have on your physical machine. It actually says here, like, it recommends that if you're only hosting for like a 10-player vanilla server, you can get away with 2 gigs of RAM. But if you're hosting a large server with a lot of mods or maps, then it's recommended you give it 4 gigs of RAM. Since I have 32 gigabytes of RAM on my PC, I'm just gonna give it 4 gigs. And the number of CPUs, this one depends on how many servers are you planning to host on the machine. It would generally be a good idea the amount of servers you want to host +1 for the course. Like for example, if you are only planning to host 1 server at a time, you can put it at 2 number of CPUs. If you are planning to host 2 servers at a time, then you can put it at 3 CPUs and so on. Because I'm only gonna host 1 server at a time, so I'm just gonna leave it at 2. And as for the virtual hard drive, you can also specify like the size you want to allocate to your entire system, like the Linux system. I would think that putting it at 32 gigabytes is a good sweet spot, but this one is also, it's depends on you. If you are planning to put in a ton of mods or a lot of the maps, then you might need to increase your available size for your drive. If not, you might find yourself running out of storage on your virtual machine. So after everything has been set, you can just click on finish, and it should automatically power on, so that you can just give it some time for it to set up. Since we have unattended installation check, everything should proceed normally. Yep. And we are in the installer page. Just give it some time to finish the installation. Okay, it's running, and you can click this button at the bottom right here to see the details, and you can see what it's actually doing, because this can take some time depending on your network speed and your drive speed actually. So if you have if you are installing this on an SSD, it might be faster. If you're installing it on a hard drive, it might take a while more, because it needs to copy the files to your disk. We're just gonna let it run, and we will get back once it finish installing. So you should be fine. Like, you just let it run on its own, and it should complete by itself. Okay, so we are back. The installation is done, and I'm just gonna hit next. Welcome to Ubuntu. Just gonna hit next, and we're just gonna skip everything. Don't share system data, and finish. Yep, that's it. Then we have Linux up and running. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually we are gonna go to machine and settings, and you're gonna scroll down to the network tab. And the network adapter, you are gonna choose bridge adapter, so that it doesn't run on a double net, and it directly use your internet adapter on your actual PC. So you're gonna choose bridge adapter, and then you are gonna choose the one that you are using it to connect to the internet. So I'm using Ethernet, so I'm just gonna choose my Realtek Ethernet controller, and you're gonna just click OK. And I'm not sure if you need to restart the machine, but I do, so I'm just gonna restart, so that to make sure that the changes did apply properly. Okay, then you're just gonna sign in, and we are back. Just had to restart the virtual machine, and we are good to go. So after finish installing Linux or Ubuntu, well, the first thing I would recommend doing is you go to Show Apps, and you find your terminal, and you can just pin it to your dashboard, because we are gonna use that a lot. And also, I would recommend going to the devices and shared clipboard. I would recommend putting it bidirectional, so that you'll be able to copy and paste text from your Windows machine to your virtual machine. That would make things easier for you. All right, and now we can move on to the starting server install steps. For this part, obtaining a server key, even though if it says this is required for all servers as of the December 2024 update, well, I'm not sure what happened, but as far as I'm aware, this is no longer required for the server key section. You can just ignore it or leave it blank. Even if you go to the website to try to get the key, you are just gonna get a host error. So I'm not sure, maybe they just decided to ditch the system altogether, but anyways, we are just gonna keep proceeding. And step one, check if the operating system is compatible. Well, the system is listed over here, so if you're using any one of these, they should work, but I'm using 24.04, so your mileage may vary if you are using a different distro. So for me, then, since I'm using Ubuntu 24.04, so it's higher than 22.10, so I'm just gonna copy this into my terminal. Password is the password that we set just now, so for me it's 123, and then just wait for it to be done. Might take a while depending on your network speed. All right, so after it's done, then you can just go ahead and follow the next step. For this step 3, create the Steam user. Since I have already created the Steam user when I set up the virtual machine, so I am gonna skip this step since my user in the virtual machine is already named Steam. And after that, you can install Steam CMD on your machine. All right. And after that, you're just gonna use the Steam CMD to install Pavlov. This one, there are 4 different branches of the server. They are a PC version and for the Shack versions, which is the Oculus Quest version or Meta Quest. So I am gonna install the PC version, but if you play on other platforms or if you want to install a different branch, you can feel free to do so. So for me, what I would like to do is I would just paste the command and I would delete the exit argument so that I can see what's going on, because sometimes the download can fail, so that if it do fail, then you at least you'll be able to see what's going on with it and you can restart the download if needed. So I'm just gonna wait for the install to complete. Again, this is gonna take a while because it needs to download the server file, so it might take longer if your internet speed is bad. Yep, like it, as it says, it says fail to install app, so I'm just gonna try it again. Oops, sorry, exit. So I'll try it again. Okay, we're back. I just tried to run the command again, and it's actually downloading the files now. So we're gonna give it some time and wait for the download to finish. If it, for some reason, if it pops up an error again, like just now, the error installing failed to install app, then you're just gonna have to run the command again. So this will take a while, and I'll let it run, and we'll be back when it's done. Okay, now we are back. So as you can see, the app has download finished and it has finished verifying as well. It will say success. The app has been fully installed. So now we can type. Oops. Now we can type exit, and we can follow the next steps, post installation steps. You can just copy the whole thing and just paste it in. Just wait for it to run. Okay, then after this, then we can follow the next step. This one, we copy this one by one. Okay, follow the steps. So that's pretty much it for the base server installation and download. So in the future, if the game has any updates, or if, like, let's say if your server has disappeared from the list, maybe due to your server has an old version of the files, then you can just run this command again to let it update your server files to the latest version. So for now, we are gonna copy the config files. Sorry, we're gonna create the config files for the server. And well, this one is for whitelisting and blacklisting someone. If you want more control of your server, you can do this. So this one, the game.ini settings file. You can copy this whole thing to put it in here. And you can use it to save your config. So save modified buffer. Yes. Name to right should be game.ini. All right. And enter, then it should be done. All right, that's pretty much it. And oh, one more thing for the firewall and port forwarding, you can put this in your terminal. And well, because since this server is hosted on your home machine, so you do need to port forward your uh, port and your IP. So to get your IP, you can click on the top right corner and go to your connection and go to settings. And you can click on the cog wheel and it will show your IP address over here. This is your local IP. Then you make sure you note the IP address down, and then you can perform a port forward on your router. I'm not going to show you how to exactly do a port forward on your router, since every router has its own ways, but I'm pretty sure you can look up a tutorial online to try to figure out how to do a port forward. So for the ports that you need to forward, it's stated here. You need to port forward the UDP ports 7777 and 8177. And after that, it should be good to go. And we are gonna close this. Since we have a GUI, we can actually just double click the home folder and go to the server files. Pavlov, save, config, Linux server, and game.ini. And you can actually just edit the config in the text editor itself. So I'm gonna rename the server to my name. Max players, I'm just gonna leave it at 10. API key, this one you can leave it as is, or you can just put a hash in front of it to put a comment to it so that it ignores the key. It doesn't matter anymore because the API key function is, I believe it's they're no longer maintaining it anymore. And for the other options, you can refer to the server setup site. It has all the descriptions on what each of the options do. So you can just change the settings to whatever you want. And for the password, if you would like to put a private room, then you can set up a password for your server. I'm just going to put something simple, like maybe 1234. And as for the map rotation, for this one, you can actually load maps. Either you can load the default maps like data center or sand, or you can actually load custom maps from mod.io directly. So to do this, you can go to mod.io, and of course you're gonna go to Pavlov, and you can just look for whatever you want. I'm just gonna go to my subscriptions. Let's say I'm gonna take Oasis Minecraft, for example. And the ID for each item is located here at the side here. So you can copy this ID and back to your text editor. And then you can just add a UGC in front. So UGC and the item ID from mod.io, and it will load the maps based on the mod.io ID. It will load the map and download the map. Then the game mode, you can refer the game mode abbreviations from here. So whatever game mode you want to play, you just put in the game mode to the game mode section. Unless if the map is a custom map, like for example this Oasis Minecraft is a custom game mode, as in like the map is custom, then it will not, this doesn't matter if you're playing a custom map, like even if it says gun game, but since it is a custom map in the server browser, it will still say custom in the end. So we can hit save, Control S to save, and we can close this, and then we can run the terminal again. And you can run this command to start the server actually. As you can see, the server is running. And it's downloading the mods, you can see here. So that should be it. So the server is up and running. To double check, you can double check your servers if it's actually running. You can go to pavlovservers.com. And you can see a list of live servers right now on the website without having to put up the game. So I'm just going to search for my server name. As you can see, it is showing up on here. So if you see your server from here, as you can see, the game mode is custom, as I mentioned just now, since the map is a custom map. So the game mode section actually doesn't matter too much if you are just loading a custom map. But of course, if you're playing other game modes like Team Deathmatch or like Search and Destroy, then you will need to change the game mode yourself. And since the server is visible over here, then you can try to boot up your game and try to connect to your server. So I'm gonna go get my headset and we'll be back with the game on. Okay, so we are in the game right now. So if you go to, so now we can go play online. Since you're hosting the server from your own home PC, you should be able to sort by latency, and usually the lowest latency server should be your own server. As you can see, I have mine that is showing up over here. So you can just click on it, and then you can click on join. If you set a password, then of course you need to enter it. For me, I set 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should be in, and it will start to download the mods or the maps that the server has. And after it downloaded, you should be good to go. It should connect in and you should be able to play, and we'll see. Yep, as you can see, the server has loaded. So, yep, you can see everything works. Yep, so that's it for how to self-host a Pavlov VR server on your home machine. So even if you are on a Windows machine, you can actually host a Pavlov server with the help of a virtual machine. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave a like if it helps you, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. So that's it for now.